Yes. First of all, the process of going to the elections. Most voters are always nervous before they head to the voting booth. Take us through the process. What actually happens before the voter actually enters the voting booth?
Yeah, thank you very much, John, for the very good question. Just unfortunate that we're in the studio. Otherwise, I could have sitting really doing my demonstration.
Yes.
The best thing I do, I'm the one who really do trainings.
Yes.
This could be an opportunity. However, I can still demonstrate it through theoretical.
Yes.
So normally what happens is that we set up a polling station. For example, many people, and I will repeat this from the beginning already, that we've got 2 elections which is taking place.
Yes.
Presidential and National Assembly election. These are completely 2 different elections, but of course they are happening at the same time. So what is expecting from a voter once you enter the polling station? The very first thing you will be expect from us is that you find the police officers who are just making sure that everybody is in order.
Yes.
And then the very first table you come to is where we do what we call the verification. Verification, I've got many steps of verification.
Right.
First of all, to make sure that you have got a valid voter card, which you should be allowed. You remember we just had a GRV. You might still, believe me or not, you might still find some people who have old cards before the GRV, and those cards are not valid anymore. So that's where we start. If the card is valid, we've got our tablets, you'll be scanned there, and everything is in order. We are happy that this person is ready for election, you've got the valid voter card. So we don't end up there. We have to check also. Remember, the Presidential and National Assembly election, you can vote anywhere you find yourself. Despite the fact that you're registered in your constituency, you can go to any polling station in Namibia, you can be allowed to vote.
Yeah.
But for us to make sure that we account for each and every individual who's voting, whether in his constituency or constituency, there's some forms we complete if you are from your outside constituency.
Okay. Then
if you are from outside constituency, let's say maybe you registered for Windhoek West and you are finding yourself in Windhoek East, then there will be a form to be completed. The form, we call it Form 39, to make sure that you are voting, you've got a valid card, but you are not from that specific constituency.
Right.
That's what we do. Then if you are happy, or let's say to make it easy, you are from that constituency, we are happy with the verification, you go to the next point. The next point is now where we make sure that before you go further, we check whether you either have voted before or not. That's also very critical.
Yes.
Because we don't want someone to vote twice, even though we've got security measures in place to detect whoever try to be funny. In fact, even before he reaches there, we'll find out. We are going to talk about this. I saw something like we call the ink we apply. We are going to talk about it. Yeah. Let's say we detect that we have voted somewhere. Immediately, the law is very clear. There is a form we call Elect 15. We complete that form to say, Nekongo have displayed the ink, which means we suspect that he has voted before. Okay. The good thing also with our tablets, if it's live, it can also tell you already where you have voted, which time you have voted for. But for the areas where there is no network, of course, it won't detect anything. But the fact that we can see the ink, that can also already tell us that you have voted before. Then we can record you. You will not allow to vote. And of course, we don't end up there. Yeah. That means already it's a criminal case. Why do you want to vote twice? That's one. When you are done, we are happy. Your things are clean. You don't vote anyway. You go to the other table, which is now where we have to apply that ink, because we cannot give you a ballot paper without applying that ink.
So that's the first step.
Yeah, the first step we do. Actually, there are 2 types of ink. The one we do the spray, which you cannot see. We call it invisible ink. And the other one which we can apply like it look like a cocky pen. Right. It have a blue kind of color which you apply to your cuticle of your fingers. Yes. And the one we are sprayed to your fingers, we won't see it, but of course, once you put it in our boxes where we show, if you have seen, we are using ultraviolet lights. Okay. We can see that you have voted. So we apply. Once we apply with those inks, then you are happy. You are going to the next table. Right. Where now you are going to get your vote now. So first they will give you the presidential ballot paper, which is in a blue color. And then after you get that, in the past, if you remember, if you voted before, you'll be given that ballot paper, then you go and vote, then you come back and be given another. But this time around, we changed it. You will be given the 2 ballot papers at the same time. You'll be given the blue ballot paper, which is for the presidential election, and you'll be given another ballot paper, the yellow ballot paper for the National Assembly election, which you're going to vote for the political party. Right. But of course, our officials have been trained. They will show you how to fold that ballot paper, because remember, we always say your vote is your secret. We don't want to see we have been voting for. Before they issue also that ballot paper, very, very clear, we should understand. We also train the political party. That individual official who issue that ballot paper, he will take your voter card and record the voter registration number on the counterfoil of the ballot paper. I want to emphasize this. On the counterfoil of the ballot paper, where you record the voter number of that specific voter who want to vote. Okay? Not on the ballot paper, but on the counterfoil. Remember, the ballot paper will be teared off.
Yes.
That one remain. That's where they record. The same will happen with the National Assembly ballot paper. Before they issue that ballot paper, they will record the voter verification number on the counterfoil of the ballot paper before they tear off the ballot paper. And once they tear it off, they'll fold it to show you how you should fold it back after you have voted. Because we don't want a voter coming from the booth. Everybody can see where he put his mark. We don't want that. Your vote is your secret. That's our slogan. Then after we've given that, then we'll show you where the voting booth is. Then you can go to the voting booth where you'll be there alone and make your choice. Put your mark on the candidate of your choice when it comes to the presidential election and on the political party of your choice when it comes to the National Assembly election. And then after that, you'll come out, you fold your ballot paper as it was folded for you by our officials, and there will be 2 ballot boxes. The blue ballot box, where you'll put your ballot paper for the presidential, where you are going to cast your vote now. And then the one for yellow is where you are going to put now your National Assembly. And also make sure from the beginning, because it's not part of the step, but that ballot paper will always have a secret mark at the back. Everybody can see it. There will be that ballot paper will be stamped. It's very, very critical. Because if that ballot paper is not stamped, then it will not be counted during the count. It will be rejected. So I'll come there when we are going to explain the meaning between. For now, I just wanted to give that. And once you've done that, there you are. Go home very quick.
It seems like a
young
very
people
easy
are normally
process.
saying it take long. Of course, the queue it will take long because you are many. But once you are inside, it's less than 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You're done. Unless when you go there, you did not make your choice already. You know, some of us, like the senior people like me, I already make my choice. When I go there, it will take me in a second. I'm done already because I already know whom I'm going to vote, which political party. But you find some people who did not yet make their mind. They are the one who's taking time in that booth. Yes.
Talking about what happens in the booth then, when you get your ballot paper, does one then tick or cross? Because there's a confusion between the two as well. Please emphasize on that.
Thank you very much. It's a very good question you're asking. Our Electoral Act currently said, put your mark. Mark means mark. Whether you tick, whether you put your cross, whether you do funny things there, as long as whether you put a dot, a mark is a mark. Yes. Because it doesn't say put a mark, no, put a cross or tick, it says put a mark. A mark means a mark. Anything can be. But ourselves, when we do our voter education, we teach the people to put a cross in that beautiful space provided. But you still find some people who do the ticking, who do the dot, who make some funny, you know. For example, let me give you a very interesting, I always used to do this when I do my training. For example, you go there, you see one candidate, then you say, this candidate, do you think I can vote this one? This is just a dog to me. Then you make that dog sign into that box of that candidate. In fact, you voted that dog nicely. We'll count that vote because it's part of the mark, So what we want is you put your nice cross, but whatever, whether it's a tick or a dot, it will still be counted. But I'm encouraging the people just to put that nice X inside that box.
Because it's easily identifiable.
Exactly, easily identified and so internationally. It's just that our law which says put a mark, that's why. Maybe moving forward, because when it was done, remember when we started, there were a lot of illiterate people and so on and so on. Now that most of the Namibian can read and write, perhaps the law must change just to say, put your cross in the right box, maybe then we can have that. But for now, whatever you put there, as long as it's clear, it will be counted.
Very well. Earlier on, you spoke about a stamp behind a ballot and also what actually constitutes a ballot being spoiled or rejected. Can you please explain or help us understand how do we identify between a spoiled ballot and a rejected ballot?
Thank you very much. This is a very good question because many people do not really, even the journalist, the way you report, you say, so many ballot paper is spoiled, so many, but you are mixing up the things. First, I have to make it from the beginning. All of them are the ballot paper who are spoiled, that's why they are going to be rejected and so on. However, in terms of when we do our counting, in terms of the electoral language, a spoiled ballot paper is the ballot paper which does not reach the ballot box. I'll explain how it happened.
Okay.
Remember I told you that I gave you a ballot paper. You go alone there in that booth. Then you go there, you put a mark, then you realize, whoa, I made mistake. I put my mark on a different candidate. In fact, I'm supposed to put my mark on the other candidate.
Okay.
Then you tell the presiding officer, I made mistake. I really made mistake. I need another ballot paper. Now that ballot paper which you are bringing back, which you are saying you made mistake, that ballot paper will be endorsed the word spoiled by the presiding officer immediately. It won't go into the ballot box. It will be spoiled, and it will put on a side in an envelope. And that envelope is also written spoiled ballot paper. Okay. It will be on that side.
All right.
Remember I was talking about the issue of entering the VRN number of that voter on the counterfoil.
Yes.
That counterfoil also will be endorsed spoiled.
Okay.
Because if you are not going to endorse spoiled, it's going to show that one person has voted twice. That's the important. Yes. Then once you go back, it's going to give you another ballot paper. And then it's going to repeat the same process. Then that ballot paper is a spoiled. It's not going there. It is a spoiled. Now rejected. Let's say the same scenario. You go there, you put your mark, you realize that you made mistake. Then you say, I made mistake. Then maybe you try whatever your funny thing you are trying. Yes. Then you go to another candidate where you put your mark. It means you put two marks on the Congo and on Shapi. Then you are going to put that ballot paper into the ballot box. Now, during the counting, while we are busy counting, we will find that specific ballot paper which have got two marks.
Yes.
So we can't, it's only one vote. You can't give one vote to half vote to this. So the vote must be a full vote, which means that that ballot cannot be counted either to Nekongo or to Shapi.
Right.
Then that ballot will be regarded a rejected ballot paper, which means we did not count it to be given to any individual voter. That will become now rejected ballot. It also endorsed the word rejected. That's basically the difference between spoiled and ballot. Spoiled before it reaches the ballot box, rejected the one you find in the box during the counting. That's why when we announce the result, we don't talk about the spoiled. The spoiled only we talk about the accountability, because what normally happens at the polling station, as you all know aware that in Namibia, our ballot have been counted at the polling station. Yes. So immediately when the polling station have closed at 9 o'clock, there's a form we call Form 36, where you have to account for each and every ballot paper you received. For example, in that incident I gave, you received 500 ballot papers. Yes. And maybe 3 of them have been spoiled like the incident I gave. You will tell the election agent and everybody present there before you start to say, I received 500 ballot papers, but 2 of the ballot papers have been spoiled, and they have to see them that they are spoiled. So in other words, if you are saying 2 of the ballot papers have been spoiled, now how many ballot papers left which you're still going to account is 498, which means the 498 is the ballot paper you have now. Then out of the 498, they are also going to be the one you are used, which is going to be now in the ballot box. There are still going to be some maybe which you did not use. So you need to account before you start counting. That's basically how it happened.
Absolutely. Yes. It's just going to prove the transparency and everything else is going to be very important. Yes. Finally, we have some residents in Tsumkwe who are claiming that they have no knowledge of the upcoming presidential and national assembly elections. I want to hear your say when it comes to this. But first, let's listen to this insert and hear what these actually happened in this insert.
I do not know when elections will take place. I am only hearing from you now. I don't know. Nobody came here to give us education on voting. We are just living like this. I have a voter's card which I got in the previous election, the old one.
Well, what you just saw there was a resident from Tsumkwe who is claiming that they have no knowledge of the presidential and national assembly elections. What do you make of this claim?
Yeah, first of all, I'm one of the people who always watch NBC News. It's one of my priorities just to update myself. Despite I'm also watching, I listened to the news yesterday.
Right.
So before I came to the studio here, I have to confirm with the colleagues from the regions to find exactly what is happening. Of course, this is election year.
Yeah.
People can talk whatever. They promised me that the same village they're talking about as voter education, they go there. And that's why you can even say that they go there.
Yeah.
They give the voter education as usual. Even as I'm speaking right now, they are also in the field. I'm not saying specifically they are in that same village, but they are there. But of course, here you are hearing somebody who's telling that we don't know what it is. So further investigation has to be done. However, what we did is that we also tried to find out exactly what it is.
Right.
We also had a conflict information there where we are saying they don't really mean also that ECN has not gone there. What they are trying also to say that political party who are participating did not go there to campaign to tell them who to vote for. Now, here I don't now know whether he really, whatever he's saying is correct or not. But what I can assure you, our voter education, a village like that one is a big village. There's no way they can miss it. These are some of the points we normally go. Maybe the time we were there, remember some of these areas, we don't have what we call a fixed point. We have got a mobile teams where we have to move from one point to another. Maybe the time we went there, the person was not there. So all these are some of the issues we can think of. But the reality of the matter is our people are there. I confirmed we've got our regional voter education officers who are running this program to make sure that all the Namibians receive the information they need. So, but here you hear the person. Maybe it can happen. Yes, but the reality of the matter is our people have been there and people have been registered, those who were present when our teams were there. But you might find one or two people who have not been registered. He will say so. But I also find out that they are also talking about the political party who are not going there to tell them,
To educate.
to educate them who to vote for. So those are all the messages. It can mix and then it can not be clear what it is.
Absolutely.
That is the only message I can tell you for now.